You and thank other parents who I think are in the room today. You've highlighted the true crisis that we're facing. You know, my home state of Missouri in 2022 alone, child fatalities from fentanyl doubled just in 2022. Deaths for children under the age of 5 increased by more than 500% in my state, and fentanyl is our leading cause of death now in the state of Missouri. So the fates that your families have endured are being replicated all over my state as well. And that's really a wake-up call, I think, for this body to do something. And we absolutely do need to seal the border against those who would traffic illicit drugs into this country, and we need to prosecute those who are doing it. But I want to zero in on something that you both talked about, and you in particular, Ms. Noring.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Red, Blue, and You. Today we're diving into an urgent issue that every parent, and honestly every American, needs to hear. Senator Josh Hawley just delivered a powerful speech exposing the dangers of social media and fentanyl. He says it's time for parents to fight back with new legislation. Let's break down his speech in 10 key points.
Senator Hawley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks to all of the witnesses for being here. Ms. Noring, Mr. Puerta, I want to particularly thank you and thank other parents who I think are in the room today. You've highlighted the true crisis that we're facing. You know, my home state of Missouri in 2022 alone, child fatalities from fentanyl doubled just in 2022. Deaths for children under the age of 5 increased by more than 500% in my state, and fentanyl is our leading cause of death now in the state of Missouri. So the fates that your families have endured are being replicated all over my state as well. And that's really a wake-up call, I think, for this body to do something. And we absolutely do need to seal the border against those who would traffic illicit drugs into this country, and we need to prosecute those who are doing it. But I want to zero in on something that you both talked about, and you in particular, Ms. Noring, where your own children and your child was exposed to these illegal drugs, namely Snapchat and the social media platforms. You said a second ago that you have repeatedly reported drug dealers and other illicit posts on social media platforms using the platform's own reporting rules. And I think what you said is that most of the time, the vast majority of the time, the answer you get back is, well, this is a valid account or they otherwise can't do anything. Did I hear that correctly, Ms. Noring?
That is correct, Senator Hawley.
So here you're trying to follow the rules that these companies have set up. They say, oh, well, we'll deal with the problem if you just report it. You and other parents, and I see parents behind you who are nodding, you're out there reporting. They're not doing anything. And I noticed that you also, I've read your written testimony, you had a meeting with Snapchat executives. I think you were there for that too, Mr. Porter, in the spring of 2021.
That's correct.
And they told you, just walk us through that, Ms. Noring, if you would. You reported to them what was going on their own platform, and they told you what exactly?
The first three things out of their mouth was, we had no idea this was happening on our platform. You can't sue us because we're protected under Section 230. And as parents, you should have been monitoring your children better. My son was 19 when he died. Number one, how do you monitor an adult? Number two, how do you monitor a child on an app in which the whole allure to these kids is the fact that the messages disappear? And that was something that I brought up to their attention, and they really had no response. They don't care.
They don't care, and I think it's interesting they pointed out to you that you can't sue them. Mm-hmm. What do you think one of the reasons is that they don't really change? I mean, here you are, you're meeting with them, you're reporting these incidents, you're reporting this illicit activity on their platform. They're not doing anything about it. I mean, do you speculate? Do you have a guess as to why they don't really ever change their behavior?
There's no incentive to. And even with the in-app reporting feature, that was something that they pointed out to us, like we should have known that this existed. We had no idea that existed, but I can tell you in the weeks and the months and the years after my son passed, multiple teens in our town reported the dealers that allegedly harmed my son. And all that would happen is they would take down the account. These dealers would go and get a new burner phone, set up a new account. Snapchat told us they had IP blockers and Wi-Fi blockers to recognize the devices. These dealers are buying burner phones. They're going to, I don't know, your coffee shop, your school. You're going to the library and setting up a new account. Our dealers in my community laughed at Snapchat. They're like, haha, they tried to bamboozle us. We're back, baby. Seriously.
I want to just highlight what you just said, because I think I want everybody who's watching this, and I want every member of this committee and every member of the Senate to understand what you just said, which is that the social media platforms don't change because they don't have any incentive, which is a very polite way of saying there's no hammer on these people. They do whatever they want to do because they know nobody can effectively hold them accountable. And they really let the mask slip when you two walked into their offices and told them that they had participated in the killing of your children, because that's what happened. They made money off of it effectively because they're making billions of dollars on their social media platforms. They're killing our kids. They're exposing them to all kinds of ungodly material, and they won't do anything about it because we can't hold them accountable. And I just want to say to members of this body, that has got to change. It is time to give parents the right to sue these platforms. No company in America has the liability shield that these companies have. They can do whatever they want to our kids, and we can't do anything about it. And I say that as the father of 3 young children. I'm terrified of what my kids might find on social media for the reasons that you've given today. But as a parent, I can't do a thing about it if these companies decide to exploit my children. And it is time for that to change. And we know how to change it. The way to change it is give the parents in this country the right to get into court. Open the courthouse doors and allow them to sue these companies.
Missouri's fentanyl crisis is alarming. And it's not just Missouri. Child deaths from fentanyl doubled in 2022. Fatalities among kids under 5 jumped by 500%. Hawley says fentanyl is now the leading cause of death in Missouri. How does fentanyl end up in kids' hands? Social media platforms like Snapchat. Parents say their kids met dealers on these apps. Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok claim safety measures, but they do next to nothing. Here's where things get even more outrageous. Some parents of fentanyl victims met with Snapchat executives. They said, "We had no idea this was happening. You can't sue us. We're protected by Section 230. You should have monitored your children better." Pause right there. One parent lost their 19-year-old son. When messages disappear instantly, how are parents supposed to track this? It's insulting, and it shows big tech does not care. Dealers just get a burner phone, create a new account, and they're back in business. So what's the solution? According to Hawley, parents need legal power to fight back. Social media companies have zero liability. Hawley's new law lets parents sue these companies. That will make them take responsibility. Should parents have this right? Let me know below. This is a wake-up call for all of us. Social media isn't just a distraction, it's a pipeline for drugs, predators, and dangerous content. Tech companies make billions while doing nothing to protect kids. Agree? Share this video and hit subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and see you next time.